Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Pauline Verzosa. President Bongbong Marcos has banned all Philippine offshore gaming operators effective yesterday. In his SONA speech, Marcos ordered PAGCOR to cease all POGO operations by year-end. For his part, PAGCOR Chairman Altenco says they will follow the president's order. However, he admits that many will be affected, including about 42,000 workers who will lose their jobs.
Ang concern mo ngayon ay dadami illegal, siguro kailangan talaga ang pakikipag-ugnayan sa law enforcement agencies. Para nang sa ganon, actually ngayon wala na magiging problema. Lahat na nag-ooperate na illegal, bawal na.
Labor Secretary Bienvenido Laguesma also expressed concern about Filipinos who will be jobless. But he says DOLE will do everything to find employment for the affected workers.
Huwag naman siguro nating isipin na madadagdagan na naman ang unemployment. Kasi kasama naman yan talaga sa, kumbaga sa challenges, pagsubok ng Department of Labor and Employment. In fact, meron kaming isinabmit na trabaho para sa Bayan Plan sa ating Pangulo. Naka-outline doon, nakadetalye doon yung mga pwedeng panggalingan ng trabaho.
Political analyst Edmund Tayaw shares his assessment of President Marcos's third SONA. And here's an excerpt from his interview on The Big Story.
What were the hits and misses of the third State of the Nation address of the President?
To be honest with you, I don't know whether it should be measured in terms of standing ovations and applauses, no. But what makes those reactions from those who attended the SONA remarkable is, well, of course, perhaps they weren't expecting a SONA that would explain details, no, of what the president intends to do and what the government is actually doing, no. So as you've mentioned, no, the speech or the presentation of the president has been quite substantial, no, to say the least. And so perhaps many of those who attended weren't expecting, no, that it would be to that kind of detail. Not to mention, of course, the surprises you've mentioned, no, the banning of the POGO, and to my mind, no, it's very much related, no, to the issue of the West Philippine Sea and the strategy, no, that China has been employing as far as its counterclaim, no, to the West Philippine Sea.
Going to another topic that garnered a standing ovation in President Marcos's SONA was his ban on POGOs. And previously, there were no direct statements or comments from President Marcos on this issue. Do you think it was a conscious effort or a planned move on his end to announce this in the SONA?
Alam nyo, marami nagsasabi na, sabi nyo nga doon sa report nyo kanina, some analysts would say na this is an indication of a complete break-up, no, or separation, no, from what's this alliance or understanding with the previous administration. Yeah, you could say it in that particular sense, but I remember also the president having been quoted, no, in regard to not only POGO but also with the ICC investigation and the possibility of issuing a warrant of arrest, na ang linya ng gobyerno ng Pangulo at ng kahit ng ating DOJ Secretary, ito ay kailangan pag-aralan ng gusto. So madalit sabi, hindi pa sila nagbigay ng categorical na sagot. At ngayon, sa palagay ko, no, dahil sa napakaraming lumabas na mga reports, no, and complaints, and I think the president mentioned a good number of those complaints. I suppose it was considered, no, a good time, no, to finally put it to end.
Let's now check in on the weather with Pagasa weather specialist Benison Estareja, who is now joining us on the line. Sir Benison, good morning. Ano na ba ang latest sa Typhoon Karina?
Good morning po sa inyo, ganyan din sa ating mga taga-subaybay. As of 4 in the morning, the center of Typhoon Karina was estimated at 380 kilometers east of Apari, Cagayan. It has maximum sustained winds of 130 kilometers per hour and gustiness of up to 160 kph. It is currently moving northwestward at 10 kilometers per hour, and this typhoon is not expected to make landfall over any parts of our country. The general movement po nitong bagyong Karina ay north-northwest, so ibig sabihin pahilaga ito habang nasa may North Philippine Sea, patungo po sa direksyon ng Ryukyu Island sa may southern Japan, pagsapit po ng Wednesday ng hapon or bukas ng hapon, and then eventually po ay lalabas na ito ng Philippine Area of Responsibility sa Thursday ng madaling araw. So far, meron tayong signal number 1 po na nakataas sa may areas po ng Eastern Luzon, tabi ng Batanes, Babuyan Islands, northern and eastern portions of mainland Cagayan, eastern portion of Isabela, northern portion of Apayao, northern portion of Ilocos Norte, northern portion of Aurora, Polillo Islands, Calaguas Islands, and northern portion of Catanduanes. So for today po, itong mga areas na tayo makakaranas sa mga pagbugso ng hangin na siyang direktang epekto itong si Bagyong Karina. Other parts of Luzon plus Visayas po, kung mapapansin nila may mga pagbugso din ng hangin, ito po ay epekto naman ng southwest monsoon. And together with those winds, meron din mararanasan po na malalakas sa mga pag-ulan. Actually, heavy to intense rains po ang mararanasan dito sa may Ilocos Region, Abra, Benguet, Zambales, Bataan, and Occidental Mindoro. Rest of Luzon, mga moderate to heavy rains po. So expect natin for this day ay magtataas tayo ng mga rainfall advisories at even mga heavy rainfall warnings from yellow and possibly up to red rainfall. Kaya babala pa rin sa ating mga kababayan po is mag-ingat sa mga posibleng flash floods or landslides at lagi magantabay sa ating mga warnings and advisories and makipag-coordinate sa inyong mga local disaster risk reduction and management offices at sa inyong mga barangay po kung kinakailangan. Yan muna latest mula dito sa weather forecasting ng Pag-asa. Balik po sa inyo.
Benison, may posibilidad ba na lumakas pa itong si Typhoon Karina bago umalis ng PAR sa Thursday? Kasi may nakataas na nga na signal number 1, ano? May possibility pa ba na mag-signal number 2?
Sa ngayon po, Ms. Pauline, we're seeing na hanggang signal number 1 lamang siya dahil yung kanyang distance from landmass po is at least or at most 300, pinakamababa na po yung 300 kilometers away. So kapag lumapit pa siya ng konti, dun pa lang tayo magtataas, but we're not seeing it that way po.
May iba pa ba tayong weather disturbances na binabantayan, Sir Benison?
So far, may mga cloud clusters tayo and even may mga nagpipitch na rin po no, sa mga ibang post na may mga invest daw po na tayo nakikita sa malayong parte ng kalupaan. But then none of those po ay nakikita pa natin na magiging isang bagyo so far. Low pressure area possible po pero none of them will affect the country in the coming days.
Alright, maraming salamat po. Once again, that was Pag-asa weather specialist Benison Estareja. Well, several areas were flooded due to non-stop rains. In Kalumpit, Bulacan, Brigada Eskwela was suspended after floodwaters reached the classrooms. Meanwhile, in Masantol, Pampanga, modules and books were put to higher places to avoid being damaged by floods. In Davao City, some roads were flooded, making it difficult for some vehicles to pass through. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 9 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Pauline Verzosa. We are One News.